Ganesh, the promoter for Big Basket, something that we use on a day-to-day basis. Sir, now this is for my section, which is Let's Talk Business. Now, what is the idea that really made you to start something like a Big Basket?
No, this was after we sold our last business, Studio Vista, to Pearson. We were looking at what's the next stage. What are the big ideas where in the next 5 to 10 years we thought we can create value by solving some of the core points. So that's the time when Flipkart had started, Snapdeal had started. There was a horizontal for e-commerce. We felt on the vertical category for e-commerce, things like grocery, furniture, jewelry, there was no business models. And grocery shopping was a pain in India. It is not something that a Flipkart or Amazon could do easily because it required deep domain expertise. So we went for vertical e-commerce categories like grocery, jewelry and furniture. We didn't do anything in furniture, but we started Big Basket with Stella co-founders and we started jewelry with Bluestone, again with other co-founders. So that is the logic. There is a horizontal e-commerce, there is a vertical e-commerce which requires deep domain expertise. Big Basket.
So when you spoke to people and you discussed that you will have vegetables delivered and you will have the essentials delivered, what was the initial feedback on that? Like, did they go out and say, oh wow, it's a great idea? Or like, no, I don't think. Or no. You know, or you're coming from an IT or an edu background and then you suddenly want to start selling vegetables perhaps?
No, I think more interesting was even I personally didn't believe that Indians would buy vegetables or groceries online, especially vegetables or meat online. So, and first thing I did was my partner in Growth Story, a guy called Srini Rai, he suggested this idea. He had worked in Amazon, he had worked in US. So he said grocery is the mother of all categories, and he was actually the brain behind starting e-grocery venture. So when he said that, I googled e-grocery, and the biggest thing, if you Google e-grocery in the world, the biggest issue in e-grocery really is that web ban, which in US was the biggest failure of the .com era. The biggest failure of the .com era was web ban, which is in e-grocery. So when I googled it, I said, it will never work in India when it didn't work in US. Then I went home and talked to my mother. My mother said, I'm never going to buy vegetables online. I need to, whatever we eat, we need to touch, feel and select, right? So I came back and told Srini, this ain't going to work. My mother says no, and I won't be able to raise money because no investor is going to invest when web ban. The biggest failure of .com era is in e-grocery. But he persisted and I persisted, okay, right, because of him. And then we said, listen, we can pull this off if we get the right co-founders, right team. That is when we are fortunate enough to be able to convince Hari Menon and Sudhakar, who are ex-FabMart, FabMall guys, to come on board as co-founders to run Big Basket. So that really was it. So initially, huge skepticism. Same thing, when we went to raise money, 7 of the 8 venture capitalists said no. When asset capital said yes, this can work. Now it's a history. Currently we are valued at $950 million in the last 7 years. It's the largest e-grocery company. So like with most of the things, initially there is a lot of skepticism, including me. It's thanks to Srini and Asset Capital and Big Basket co-founders that we have a great thing.
How old were you when you thought of the idea or you founded Big Basket?
Oh yeah, I was pretty old. I was really 49 years old when we started Big Basket. All my co-founders who actually run and who are responsible for 99% of the success are 50 plus years old. It's one of those companies which is really old company, doing non-glamorous, non-sexy, delivering egg and milk. But we are almost $1 billion in valuation. So I'm very happy. It just shows that if you, in India, if you take core problems like roti, kapda, makan, healthcare, education, solve the basic pain points, you can build a large business in India. The age really doesn't matter. It's not a sexy or glamorous business. It's a very hardcore delivering milk and egg business.
Now tell me, there is one question that I always have. My question is that how do entrepreneurs need to behave within themselves when they are broke? Have you ever been broke as an entrepreneur?
No, not once, multiple times. we have had businesses in all my ventures, both which I have done and this, where we have run out of money, we have run out of ideas, and we still persisted on. The essential thing is, if you really believe in yourself and you're solving a big core pain point, you will come out of it. But you need to have the runway to be able to come out of it. I've been fortunate that I've had great co-founders working with me. I've had good set of investors which I've been backed. That line in entrepreneurship between failure and success is a very thin line. Right? In Tutor Vista, in Big Basket, in Portia Medical, in Bluestone, all cases where we ran out of money, where the money for the next salary was not there, we had to take loans to be able to do it till the time we come out. It's a constant struggle, and that's actually the fun of entrepreneurship. The pleasure and pressure of entrepreneurship comes together.
I'm glad you said the pleasure and the pressure of entrepreneurship. So, sir, you were involved in an IT company, that is Tutor Vista. You were in Bluestone, which is into online jewelry. And then, sorry, which was the third one?
Portia Medical. Freshman.
Yeah, so it's such a diverse thing. So what really is the qualification of an entrepreneur to be able to think so diversely and to be able to convince the investors to back them?
No, it's a very biased thing. My own personal experience is very different than normal experience. I'm a generalist. I'm as good an educationist as a grocer, as a jewelry expert and all of this. Because I'm a general management guy, I don't have any specific experience. So it doesn't come from a deep domain experience. There are multiple ways to run businesses. There are people who have very strong domain experience. They should follow that domain experience and build great businesses. On the other hand, I am a generalist, so I've done multiple businesses across sectors. Fortunately, because of past success, which I've been very fortunate to have, investors don't ask the question, how can you be a good healthcare guy like in Portia Medical, or how can you be a grocer, or how can you be a jewelry expert, or how can you be a nutrition expert. People take it for granted that I'm a generalist. But normally, it would help if you have a domain expertise and stick to your knitting.
How important is the family support when you are out there, you're trying to get things done, and perhaps you're broke or you don't have the money, or you're trying to arrange a few things, spending maximum time there? How challenging is it for you at back home?
Yeah, no, the family support is critical, especially for the first-time entrepreneur. The reason I was able to start my first business, IT&T, back in 1990, because my wife, Meena, was working with NIIT. Both of us are from IIM Calcutta, so she had a good job. So for the first 8 years of my business, the food on the table was provided by Meena because of a job with NIIT. So it's very important in entrepreneurship. The percentage of success is very low. It's important that you don't bet your house on it. So you need to have some safety net or backstop. One of that is spouse or your father-in-law or brother-in-law who can support you through your journey. But it's very important to have some backup before you cut off all kinds of safety net before you start your venture.
Now that's a very honest man. One last question, sir. Sorry for holding you. One piece of advice that you have got that you would like to pass on to young entrepreneurs like us?
So, one of the things is entrepreneurship is extremely hard. Be clear why you're doing it. It can't be for money, because it's better money if you want to work somewhere. It can't be because you're your own boss, because when you're an entrepreneur, you are 100% of the time 24/7 on notice. You need to be answerable to the customers, to the employees, to all of that stuff. So be clear for the reason why you want to be an entrepreneur. That's number one. Number two, because the success percentage is very small, attempt something that is very big. Do something that if you win, you will win big. So essentially, don't do small stuff. If you fail spectacularly, so that if you win against all odds, it will be really a big win.